for these teams?
Nunu's always an interesting one for me because it feels like the kind of champion where, yes, it's really, really strong for guaranteeing that you can get things like Scuttle Crab and Dragon, Smite into Chomp and so on. It needs answers. It needs backup. It needs ways to look as good as it does, right? So a Snowball can come on in, but you need a lot of damage then to back it up, be it CC or a champion that can hyper scale. So, straight away removing the likes of the Camille, always a nice response, renecting the same as well in that fashion, and just targeting that top lane aggression, which should be an area for big focus.
Yeah. Jess, which matchup do you think we should be keeping our eyes on over here? Is it gonna be in the Baron lane, which seems to be our theme of the day? Is it gonna happen in the mid lane between Ellie and Radiance? What do you think?
Both of them.
All of them.
Like these two lanes gotta be a huge factor for this upcoming game. Like both Ellie and Radiance and Shy and Onion King, they play really well. Like they keep improving each game. Like if you remember correctly, the first game, the Fiora against Rhythm, if you recall, he tried to fight the Renekton and ends up dying. So at that point, the game just like fall apart. And then the second time around, he played Aurelia, and that time he played really well at the weak side.
Yeah, and we can't forget also about Dai Ling, who we were talking about this earlier about he seems to be that quiet sort of assassin. You're not actually gonna think that he's pretty impactful until you actually see our post game stats. And he has all of the kills on the board, which is exactly what happened with his previous games. Skimmy, what are your thoughts on the draft so far? It seems like Team Flash is running a pretty standard comp over here. MBR Esports, what could they be up to?
Well, I mean, I like the Olaf straight away because this is usually ban away Team Flash, and I guess it deters the idea of MBR drafting anything too squishy because you can just look to run straight at them. I guess the Varus is one of those champions where sure you can hit Ragnarok and laugh at it, but it's far too good of a champion to pass up, especially when Ziggs is banned away as well. I do like that Darling is contesting this, marksman pool nice and early because he's been playing really, really well so far in the group stages. So it is drawing the focus as we kind of anticipate it to be found elsewhere, be it in the mid lane or the top lane. It could be a Riven jungle. I wouldn't be surprised if it were to be the case. And I'd love to see them pick up a support here too.
Yeah, Jess, I'm curious. Right now, we're probably going to see Dialing on the Kaisa. Nami from MBR. This is gonna be interesting. Tobu, we saw had a great performance on the Thresh earlier. Do you think that was an experimental pick, or do you think they might be saving it for game 2? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to play Thresh against Olaf, but Nami as well, because both Varus and Nami can't do anything against Ragnarok, right? And I assuming that I thought they're gonna pick Lulu here because Lulu is a really great pick here. Yeah. Laning well against Varus and Nami, and he could buff both Olaf and Kai'Sa later on. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess Team Flash here has other plans indeed. I am curious to find out who exactly is going to be in the mid lane, as we know that, Ellie, they did have, a bit of a good luck charm in the Aurelion stall. So I'm wondering if we're gonna see that come out again before the playoffs, sometime in the group stages. It was a very memorable performance, but I don't know, Skimmy, what are the chances you think that they might bring out that Aurelion stall once again?
I mean, we've seen it time and time again. He's undefeated on the champion so far. 4 games played. He's just loving life as the Space Jam cat. So certainly could be a champion that can get the spotlight once again. It's going to be the Aurelia. I like this Rakan. The more I think about it, because it gives you that engage tool, that reliable engage tool, which we saw was sorely lacking in the game just prior with one team, right? You are the Olaf, you're running in. Sure, the Lulu in theory seems really good because it's just, buff up that key target. There's the polymorph, there's the wild growth, very hard to take him down, but it puts a big onus on you to, find those initial angles to, hit that pressure switch onto the likes of a Varus Nami in the first place. So the Rakan could be quite huge here in, getting a big charm and preventing MBR from getting initiation.
Yeah.
Wow, I love Kha'Zix's pick here. Kha'Zix is like, I don't know, do really well against Olaf. Like poking him out with the W and something like that. In my opinion, Kha'Zix is most likely the highest map presence of all jungle because he doesn't rely on his ult. He just stare to your face, pressing W, and when you all in him, he just jump out. That's all.
True.
Yeah. Definitely scary, especially, I know that the Kazakhs probably going to be hunting the Kaisa on the side of Team Flash, and
I love the drafts.
I do too, Contra, and I think what we're seeing from Team Flash especially just screams to me Team Flash. It fits the identity so well. Shy opting into the skill matchup here, the high mechanics check matchup. Irelia Riven. Then we have the Olaf as well as Twisted Fate to empower his early game. Really good stuff coming in from Flash. The roam potential from Glory on this Rakan, and I really like the starting here from MBR, just going mid, making sure TF is stuck under his tower from the get-go. And Riven though, Onion King taking a bit of a poking there from Ellie to start things off.
That's right, and I love the fact that what the Jess has pointed out to us that this Olaf is such an important pick.
Yep.
And now you also have on the other side MBR taking a Kha'Zix that can easily find picks and burst somebody down. So it's really down to every minute detail that they could actually get certain small leads to snowball it to MBR's favor. But Team Flash definitely looking great for those team fights.
Yeah, Team Flash indeed looking great for these team fights. Olaf, like what they just mentioned, is just so good against Varus Nami, right? Because if you find an angle, you run it in, they really can't stop you. The good thing is you also have the Rakan to back you up. Oh man, Shy losing a bit out here. He's not going to be level 3, right? That's the big thing in this trade because Onion King did steal EXP from his mid laner. So MBR, they do have a bit of catch-focused team comp, a bit of a pick-focused team comp. We might see a bit of a skirmish, but look at where Glory D is.
Elvis immediately leaps away, but it will be caught
why
out
did he
once
back
again.
off?
Glory still moving right there. Thank goodness for the blast cone.
Choice, man. Yeah.
He will lose the blue buff though.
There was a bit of a miscommunication there. Glory found the angle, very well played from him. Good timed rotation as well. But Joyce, he backed off. He thought Kazakhs had gotten away. This is going to be Scuttlecrab secured at the top side. And it looks like it's just going to be a bit of a trade. But this is going to be beneficial for Flash because you need to secure your Baron lane matchup. Irelia Riven is the most important matchup in the game right now.
Indeed it is, and we already see an early game Riven potentially can actually go with some great out trades so long as Irelia tries to go in to farm those minions. So maybe she might lose a little bit of gold early on, but then again,
Oh, man.
I definitely am stand corrected.
Look at
because
Joyce.
that's a little
Oh,
different.
no. That was a bit of a mistake there from Shah. He misses on the ultimate. He whiffs in the air there. That's going to be really unfortunate because if that hit, I think Joyce could have found an angle to tower dive, really. And I think what you were talking about as well, right? It's a pretty aggressive lane. Both of them are trading a lot of health, but it will always favor the team whose jungler is nearby. And that means that Team Flash, since they forced the map split, it would have favored them. Problem is execution kind of lacking a bit there, and Shy missing on his out is going to hurt Team Flash a little bit. Not going to be able to snowball the game.
That's true, and when we look at how proactive Team Flash always plays across the Baron lane from the get-go, they are trying to enable Shy to get to the best of potential here.
Yep.
But that didn't seem to have worked out. Maybe they might go with it for the second time coming. We see a few items already built up, and I do like that they start off with some executioners calling on this
Yeah.
styling.
It's always going to be nice to see the Executioners here up against Nami. You want to reduce her healing as much as possible, of course. But Rod of the Ages for Ellie already is going to be huge. Twisted Fate, don't forget, has the stacked deck passive, where he'll always get a little bit more gold from the minions. And that's going to be helping him out a lot right here. 200 gold up means he gets the power spike earlier, means he controls the wave. And that means if Radiance wants to look for a timing to recall before the 4-minute objective timer spawns, then it's gonna be Ellie's ability. Ellie's has the opportunity to pressure him and really keep him down. Looks like Radiance is just gonna sack a wave to reset to make sure he can get his Rod of the Ages before the objective spawn. But that means that I think MBR is gonna be a little bit late here.
That's right, and it looks like we do have some Flash being pop over mid-side. Thank goodness that Tobu has been able to react quick enough.
Yeah,
and
pretty
Elvis
fast
might just be able to
reactions.
actually do something here.
Yeah, and honestly, that favors MBR, right? Because Rakan really needs the flash to go in. Tobu doesn't really need the flash if he positions well, and he still has the tidal wave. That means that despite having this Olaf in the early game, you're not going to be able to take the fight. Oh,
Meanwhile, over the top side here, good stun, but the flash
Oh,
goes forward.
no.
MBR gets the first blood, but will be chased out by the Olaf as well. It's a 1-for-1. And after that, I guess Joyce will immediately go for that Herald.
Yeah, he will indeed, and because of the reset timing, that is gonna be so painful with the 14 Flash. They reset the Rift Herald, that means they're gonna be late to the objective, they're gonna be late to the push. MBR, they get a solo kill from Onion King, and because he wastes so much of Team Flash's resources, they will get the turret first. They will be so ahead on the play that they will come up and defend this as well. Team Flash, they have no choice. They have to use the Rift Herald here, because if they don't, they're not even gonna get the turret, and this is a good start for MBR.
Tidal Wave have already been expended, but yet again, with the Herald, that should easily secure it. But MBR have so much room for a lead. Now they can actually manage some certain good pickoffs if they really want to. And just look at the map, well lit up by MBR. Team Flash really got to up their vision game.
Yeah, Team Flash, they really need to be stepping up individually, right? We're seeing a lot of the problems stemming from really Shy not doing too well in this matchup. It's a bit of a tricky matchup for sure, but Shy is the key focal point to me of Team Flash. Sure, we talk about Ellie, we talk about Joyce. They are pivotal players as well, but Shy has been the hard carry here for the team, and he needs to step up here if they want to find more. You cannot be losing when you have the Twisted Fate to empower you. Look at the gold advantage for Ellie. He's gonna be dominating the map soon. He is not far off from that rapid fire cannon. It's gonna get pretty brutal, I think, if Shy can hold the game even for a while longer, and Ellie has the space to pot to his lane and really just punish Onion King.
So long as the Drake is not spawned up, I do think that Ellie should have just about enough time, and we're already seeing Blade Ring King as you mentioned it.
Yep.
So this is where that Irelia will try to drop into some really good areas of play, and Flash already putting some pressure. It's going to be the Riven that hops on top. Great knockup with the tidal wave. They'll be able to find two down, and all three will fall with Irelia sacrificing for those kills.
And Ellie burning double sums at mid as well. MBR just finding wins across the board. Onion King, he sacrifices his wave, he sacrifices his temple to go and help out his team. It was a 4v3. That's why it was so easy for MBR to take the team fight win. And with that, they rotate Radiance over to catch the wave. Very good macro around the board, around the map from MBR, just managing their wave super well. And that will give them a lead over Team Flash right now. Of course, they have the Dragon in their pocket as well. Don't forget about that one. So that's going to be MBR. They're pretty happy, I think, with the way the game is going. And don't forget as well, Riven, one of the hardest scaling picks in the game. Look at this play here. They're camping, they're baiting, just really good stuff. I don't think Tidal Wave was available, yeah, but we have the double bubble. Oh, there was a Tidal Wave, yeah. Double bubble into a Tidal Wave, and they just cleaned this one up. I was actually quite surprised they even managed to get the kill there onto Aelier, but they do trade one back, and Team Flash, they will be falling to a bit of an early deficit. I'm pretty sure the only reason it's as close as it is because of this Twisted Fate stack deck. There we go. It's a couple hundred gold up, sitting at 6,000 gold, the second richest person in the game behind Onion King, who honestly has been impressing me so much here, Contra.
I'm impressed just like you are. So, Omo, we look at how well he plays on that Riven, and he didn't really need that tidal wave setup to begin with to be able to actually secure those kills. With the rest of them following up, I think that Elvis was also in a really good position there. So, with Team Flash now on that deficit, they just need to be aware of the whereabouts of MBR. Now they're getting invaded. That's going to be a little bit of a smite as a steal. And Elvis just get things for free.
Yeah, Elvis just going in, gonna smite away your blue buff, gonna stroll out. And Dialing, he worked so hard as well. He took so long trying to get that blue buff. Very sad that he's not gonna be able to find that. Elvis gets spotted out by the twin shadows, but they know where Glory D is as well. So it's a bit of a stalemate right now. That does mean, though, that it will favor MBR. They do the Dragon so fast with the Kha'Zix. If they control mid priority, Team Flash, they don't really have many options here to play with.
If Flash wanting to force something to happen, that's where Aqua Prison locks him in, forcing the Ragnarok.
No Ragnarok. They can't take this
is going to be very bad Ragnarok because it was activated prematurely and none of the MBR members were even close
this
by.
is so bad. Oh, Contra, this is so bad for Team Flash. Dialing got caught.
Oh my, what's going on in the jungle?
But it's fine.
Dialing literally died right there.
Yeah, living up to his name. And even if Dialing didn't get caught there, look at the way the map was playing out. Shy had to go back to catch the wave. He was lost. He wasn't sure. Do I come? Do I go? What do I do? Are we trying to fight? But Ragnarok was already popped. Team Flash, I think they just needed to make the call to give. Recognize that, you know what? We should just go play for Shy in the top lane. Let him push. Threaten his tier 2. If anyone defends, we Destiny Gate up. But that doesn't matter at all in the end because Dialing gets caught. Happened off our screens, but that's fine. It's gonna be Twisted Fate though, sitting on 2 items. We need to start seeing Destiny's Gate being used proactively here. He needs to start finding leads for Shy. If not, this game is really gonna slip out of Flash's control.
Yeah, and Team Flash, they're definitely hoping for that late game to happen, but at this rapid pace that MBR is playing, they're not gonna allow it freely. So Team Flash, by hook or by crook, they really gotta find that initiation and where you plan to catch when it's going to be a little tad difficult to burst down a ribbon in one swing.
Yeah,
and
it is.
on top of that, to catch a Kha'Zix, he could even hop off before you connect that Destiny's Gate.
Yeah, the main thing is they need to make sure that whoever is in Shy's lane does not feel like he has a free time farming. That's the main priority right now. And Shy as well, he wants to match into Onion King because it's harder for Onion King to run, whereas Radiance, if you stun him, he's just gonna triple dash away. Flash just spread pretty thinly across the map. I don't know if this is the play here. This all is happening because MBR are securing so much prio with the Varus Nami. So that honestly is playing out a lot better for them this game than we saw in the last couple games.
Indeed, and you just look at MBR, the more games they play, the better they look. So, with this current form that they do have, I think it's definitely safe to say that they can just go in for a real good catch and maybe walk away with something, or at least take that turret down.
They definitely will at least pick up this turret, and that's just gonna be the whole map falling apart here. Look at the way they're transitioning across the map. That's so clean from MBR. Onion King will move to mid when his team moves to top. Now that they've finished taking the top turret, everyone's coming back to mid, then that's Onion King's cue to go back to bot. They are always one step ahead of the play here, and Shy is finding himself on the back foot. He's constantly having to react to these rotations, and that's causing him to fall further and further behind in terms of individual goal. MBR, they're pulling ahead, 4,000 goal lead right now. Even Ellie has lost his goal lead. That's gonna be Deathcap as well as Roa for Radiance, and I want to point out something really interesting here, Contra. 4 spooky ghosts, 4 twin shadows, 4 the side of MBR. They want to make sure they know where everyone is. They want to make sure they don't get flanked. That's the big thing. As long as Irelia doesn't find your backline, as long as Rakan doesn't flash charm your backline, you're not going to lose the team fight. You want to fight front to back. You just need to know where they are, and you're good to go. And I really like this decision making here from MBR as Shy gets caught.
Shy now all alone comes out with the Vanguards and trying to hop onto anybody, but he doesn't stand a chance. Just look at the damage output coming from Alves. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, no chance in hell there for Team Flash. The second Destiny's Gate of the game, used at 12 minutes, and it won't find anything because Onion King, he respects, he backs off when his team is making a play at the bot side, and Flash, they look lost right now. They're getting run across the map. MBR, they are looking way cleaner, and like you said, the more they play, the better they're looking.
And they just can't give so many chances to MBR. You just look at that 5v5 comp. So long as you have Vanguard's edge to get that commitment over to MBR, it's supposed to be still winnable for Team Flash, but they're not taking any of these chances out there when there is opportunity that arises. Now they have to pay the price. They're still going to be in this deficit for quite a while, and I'm looking at this next dragon that's going to be spawning up soon. Shy's got to pull off the best performance of his life.
Indeed, and it's gonna be so difficult because he's not ahead, he's behind in goal. He's so squishy right now. I'm pretty sure he barely has the Triforce together with the Blade of the Rune King. And look at the spooky ghost, it's constantly detecting Flash. There's nowhere for them to hide. Alves has the evolved Spike Rex, he's just spraying it on Team Flash. There's nowhere for them to go. The poke is strong, the vision is strong, they're constantly getting reviewed, they're constantly getting ghosted. Flash cannot do anything, they cannot enter the river at all. This is full control from MBR.
Well, I do have experiences getting ghosted for a whole lot of time, but not as much as 4 Twin Shadows.
Oh,
but here
no.
comes a great grand entrance, but not catching on to anybody. MBR looking to punish, looking for Gordy with a flag, and that's a killing spree. More for Onion King as he goes for a double, looking for triple as well. Can he get a quad? It's a double for the Kha'Zix. And there we have it, MBR with an early ace, sets their sight on Baron.
That was pure desperation from Flash right there. We saw they weren't in position. Dialing and Shy, they were off the sides getting danced around by Onion King. And that's just gonna be Team Flash get wiped off the board. They try to force a play. Glory D couldn't find anything. Pure desperation. They lose the Dragon. They lose mid lane turret. Most importantly now, they get Ace. They lose the Baron. And MBR, they are looking a tier above Team Flash, which is not something I was expecting to say here today, Contra. They look really, really good in this game. And the hype seems like it might have some basis to it after all.
Yeah, and just look at all the
Yeah, it's
predictions
pure
from both of them.
desperation. Look at this. The Spirited Rush, the dodge out, the charm knockup, so good. And if you look at the backline, Shy was forced to flash away from Onion King. Dialing was not even in position because he had to catch mid-wave because they're constantly losing prio. And Shy, honestly, maybe if he had like 1-2 more items, he could have done a little bit more here. But the top gap is just a bit too big right now.
True enough, and you just look at the transition of Onion King, how smoothly he went from one kill after another. Hopping over the wall seemed like it's just an easy crossover onto that terrain. And now speaking of crossover, it's gonna be Albus looking for that thing. And with one down leap, Glory D already brought down them. Meanwhile, Radiance, another solo kill happening up top.
Yeah, it's so rough right now. Everyone is just solo killing. Shy, he cannot show in the side lanes anymore. And if you're telling me that you're playing on red side with Irelia Twisted Fate and you cannot go to the side lanes, that's just game over.
My oh my.
Oh, I didn't
Might
king.
have actually lose one. That's a shutdown, but Tidal Wave will catch
Oh,
the TF.
no.
That's all that they need. It's an Ari going on at Rampage. Radiance having some perfect charm, and early Team Flash don't look like they can hold on any longer. Great Bubble not going to be landing on top of them, but the Olaf will still be bursted down. Another turret falls up mid, and they're going hunting,
my
baby.
goodness, Elvis.
And Elvis is just going on resets after resets. Nobody's gonna stop this guy as they look to close out game one.
And a super dominant performance here from MBR. Really impressive stuff. I'm so surprised, honestly, because this was a very clean game from them.
The mid lane, right? And I want to point another thing out is that MBR controlled the map so well. Like they wouldn't let their guard down at all the entire game. No face checking, no risky play, just control the map from start to finish. Like it was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 4 twin shadows over
My
there.
point exactly. Right? How can you control the map if you have that much? Like, it's so easy. You can't go anywhere. And Team Flash just said, you know what, Ellie? We're actually going to ban away that TF from you even being able to play it. So I like that. Good coaching.
Yeah, and you know, at one point in the game, you actually just saw ghost after ghost going out, and it just seemed like you know, there was no end to it whatsoever. So yeah, I'm a big fan of what MBR Esports was able to do in game 1. Going now into game 2 and our champ select, though, it looks like another big Baron lane mashup over here for Team Flash and MBR Esports. Jess, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, they first pick Renekton, so oh, they snatched out Kha'Zix. I'm about to say that Kha'Zix actually is kind of a special champion, to be honest, because it's good at scouting, it's good at all in and poking as well. It's like it's got a little bit of everything. So if you play it well, it's so annoying to deal with.
Now, Skimmy, what about you? I mean, I know we saw Team Flash earlier running the Renekton, but it seemed more like it was a reactive pick rather than something that, you know, Shy was totally comfortable with. It could have been the team that they were up against. Do you think that this is Team Flash more reacting rather than sticking with something that will guarantee them that win?
I think this is definitely their comfort zone. I mean, like, the Thresh and the Varus are a little bit different for me. I mean, we have certainly seen them play the Varus a fair few times. The Fizz is what really gets me. I love it when they play these, like, very dive-heavy champions, because it's saying, look, we're taking a skill check. This is what I know them for. I don't like it when they play, like, the more utility style of play, because it doesn't really fit the bill for them. There's the Zed as well, so we're just answering back fire with fire.
God.
It's just got it all, Jess. It's got it all.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I want to see. Fizz against Zed. What do you think, Skimmy?
Oh, look,
This
I'm a big fan of fish and chips, mate, so I'm going to go for the Fizz. Look, I'm...
Omo, who do you favor in this draft, in this best of 2? And Team Flash, they need this win in order to make it out.
Well, Coach, I'll tell you that's a very good question, but given that Zed was forced to add W at level 1, I'll say that I'm favoring Team Flash from the get-go here. Forced to recall, having to add W level 1, things are looking good here, and we talked about this exact scenario, right? Team Flash, I always think they look better on blue, because there's too many things you need to ban against them. With that said though, I don't know how you end up with Renekton and Varus on the same team. I think that should almost never be allowed, but I do see that MBR actually went for the trade of Ziggs Riven. I do like that this Varus has been denied from them, but I want to see what Elia can do on the Ziggs. It's been a long day. I'm starting to forget how to pronounce names. Next up, I'll forget how to pronounce Shy, so we're not very far off from a complete mental collapse here. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Oh, don't follow me just about yet. I just hope that you don't forget my name right here. But as we get ourselves into this program, I guess like the bottom lane could be a non-factor when you have so many assassins on the bar. Like, they're just hoping to pick something safe and just hopefully get some good trading being done. So this is a brand new island. It's a dual island down Dragon Lane for most part.
Yeah, non-factor is not exactly the term I would use to describe it.
True.
But what they will do is, actually, I think the better term is inactive, right? They're not really going to be fighting a lot. They're not really going to be brawling a lot. They're just gonna do exactly what you're seeing on your screens, throwing long-range spells at each other. When you're low, back off, go heal, come back for round 2. And I think that's pretty much gonna be the tail here for the bottom lane, but I do like that this secures Joyce this Scuttle Crab. I do want to point out though that the Shy, he's been doing so well in play-ins. He's been a key factor to me. I think he's been one of Flash's best players in my opinion, but Onion King has been out-trading him in both of these games so far here today.
That's the great fact to point out, and Joyce will be able to snatch this blue away and immediately hops over to Tobu, forcing a flash. Great death sentence to secure first blood. Team Flash now with the lead.
Team Flash, nice, finding something from the get-go. That's exactly what you need to be doing with this trash pick. You need to find ways to snowball the game. We've seen what it's like when the trash enchanter matchup goes to the mid game, goes to the late game. You really get outmatched, you get outscaled completely. So they need to find these picks and they need to keep it going. That's the important thing here. So first blood going over to Joyce, you're never gonna be sad about that one, right? He's gonna get some nice little item leads. Fizz is gonna be pretty slippery, so I think it's good. Yeah.
Well, there's two men hop on board, and that's a death mark. Definitely could kill.
He kills them all.
But Radiance goes down as well.
Nice.
Joyce comes in that perfect time.
Yeah, Joyce comes in perfect time, and that was what you would call a overforce there from MBR. And I think the mistake there from Ellie was that he flashed a little bit too early. If he held on to that a little bit longer, maybe he might have been able to survive. Maybe he might have been able to flash away from Zed's follow-up damage, because Zed had to use his double shadow, his shadow, and then his ultimate to get on top of him. So Ellie, I think, could have played that one a little bit more patiently. But what matters is Joyce got the buy, got the reset, and he came up. That's fantastic. I really love it there from Joyce. He's doing so well. Bit of a bad luck hook there from Glory D. It was a bit close. I think it kind of whiffed past the head of Radiance there as he's going for a bit of a rotation. And 330, that's the timing window. You're going to go for a 1-3-1 setup. Make sure that you get constant mid prio. And it seems like they might want to dive Radiance. He doesn't have his ultimate.
He's already popped the shadow though, so he's going to be able to juke it all
okay.
out. So it's not too shabby after all. So with a little bit of rotation, we're looking at the Ziggs taking over mid. And they're just going to absolutely get this one away, but the tidal wave has already been utilized, not hitting any members of Team Flash. With the dragon being spawned up, I think that MBR could actually choose to reply.
Yeah, and it looks like MBR, they want to look for something, but they need to wait for Deathmark. Shy can win this!
Oh my,
jinxed
and
it.
he fell. So, Onion King, as well as Albus, with the really good jungle of the turret pressure, has been able to pull that one back. While Team Flash, they know that the jungler is all the way up top, so they can get this one for free.
Yeah, the big thing there is that Shy needed to hold a stun for whoever at turret aggro. If you stun someone in the turret, they definitely die to you as a Renekton. But the problem is Shy went for the stun a little bit too early. Elvest and Onion King, like you mentioned, just juggled the aggro and got out alive. And this is looking to be really bad, because if Shy falls this far behind and the Fiora gets a lot of a lead here, he could be a win condition by himself. We saw on blue side earlier today, MBR went Fiora, Zed. 4-5, and we saw how that played out. It was a pretty weak strategy because they lost their lanes. That was against Buriram, right? Now against Flash, Shy is losing his lane to Onion King, and if you get leads on Zed Fiora, they can take over games completely.
I agree with that statement that you just made right there. And you just saw how well Onion King played that Ribbon in the past match. And with Albus having that flex, this is going to be a really good setup with Glory D. Going with the play. Here comes the tidal wave as well. He will have to flash away. Now he's being caught up. A little bit of a reversal coming from MBR. And Team Flash did not even get that turret.
Big mistakes. They clearly were not on the same page here. And Ellie's in a bit of a cheeky position. Elvis wants to find him, but not going to get found out just yet. They're calling the rotation down from Dialing. They want to kill them both here, but it's going to be a bit tricky since there's no support.
Chum the Waters now lands. Raiden's now getting a little bit of a bite there. 50% of health, but Ellie still gives chase though. I don't think this is going to be a
What's going on in the top lane?
Continue though.
What's going on in the top lane, Contra? We're not gonna see it. That's alright. We'll just imagine it. I imagine that Renekton walked up, stunned Ziggs, and killed him. That's all we'll know.
That's all that we know. Actually need, actually.
Yeah, that's all we got.
For an instance. But we focus down on bot because Albus might just be able to respond to this Death Sentence. Here comes the Death Mark on top of the Fizz, but easily just hopped over with a little bit more of that flashiness.
Just a bit of a trade back and forth.
I just feel that this is a little bit too evenly traded out. Team Flash should have actually capitalized, but
there
we
go.
The replay.
Oh, they just dived him. They just walked at him and dived him, so we weren't actually wrong. After Flash, Alia Flash and whatnot, my brain is turning off and I'm starting to see Alia as Arthur, so that's a bit unfortunate. I want to call back a little bit to the bot side player, right? Because what we saw from Alia that was a bit questionable, but I think the rationale behind it was very sensible, right? You can tell he's a bit of a Fizz main here. He went for the Charm of the Waters. Look at this, Onion King just spacing Shy out of control. This might actually be a very big problem. Like, Fiora might take over the game really soon. He's more than 1,000 gold up. But yeah, the bot side play, right? He went for a Charm the Waters, and I don't know if you noticed, but he immediately used Playful Trickster to make sure that Zac couldn't dodge the Charm the Waters with that block. That was really, really nice. But the problem with that is it makes it hard for you to follow with a chase. It's hard for you to keep the fight going, and that's what allowed Radiance to get away. So it's a bit well played there from Ellie, but at the same time that also hurt him. And I don't think all of this matters though, because you know what matters, Contra? Onion King.
True enough, and you just look at Onion King, who's not only getting that stone plate, he's gonna have so much of an easy time to deal with this Renekton, who's not well fed, but with the Herald already popped right in. MBR looking to actually flank them across. Now that's gonna be a tidal wave hitting onto Glory D with the back of the full ROM dropping right in. Freeman gets marked, and Albus gets that pig. And yet again, Joyce makes a play. He will still fall, and that's a double for Albus.
That is really, really bad. You're never gonna win the side lane matchup ever again against this Fiora. So if you're losing the team fight with 4 members, then that's gonna hurt you so much. Your Team Flash falling 2,000 gold behind. Radiant so clean right there, jumping in, flashing in, locking down the kill, and popping back to his death mark Shadow. Really good stuff across the board from MBR. Like you said, right, if they keep it going, they could 2-0. And I think that we're seeing the makings of the 2-0 for MBR here, which they really need.
That's right. Now I'm gonna take it to another topic, right? Since you mentioned that, you know, you're losing a lot of energy. Team Flash started off with the very first series out there.
It's true, yeah.
It's been a really long day. I mean, back then when I managed teams, I know how it feels like when you just go AFK for a really long while waiting for a game. And now it seems like it's been taking a toll onto Team Flash, and they're already starting onto that break. But MBR, they try to steal it away, and that's where the rest of Team Flash, they cannot respond. They're stuck inside a pit, and with a sleep, Joyce will be able to actually make their way out and get that break. But they will still have Shy here to be able to flash away. Tidal Wave cuts their action plan, and Dialing 1 HP left. He tries to dodge it all, but it will still be seeked out by the rest of MBR. The Death Sentence does not connect, but the Flay will. And that will take down Onion King. One more kill right there, and Florida shoved all the way back. Team Flash battered and bruised.
Heartbreaker right there for Team Flash. They get the dragon, but at what cost? Everyone basically dies. They only kill, well, they do kill Tobu and Onion King in return, right? But look at Radiance right now. Does he smell this? Does he know the Joyce is here?
Oh, yeah, I guess that
I think Joyce can all in this, though. I'm not sure why he's running away.
He should have, but he doesn't really have the death mark available, so he understands that it's not going
Joyce
to be
should
the
turn it
most
around. Joyce should
enough.
jump on him. But yeah, look at this team fight right now, okay? The tidal wave is not up yet, so that's the big thing. That's why this fight was even playable. Ellie, he dives so deep, but MBR, I'm really impressed. Their team fighting is pretty good. peel back together. They say, you know what, let's kill this Fierce, guys. He's diving too deep, and they just chase this fight down. Dobu gets a bit too overly aggressive. I think he dies to the turret shots at the end here. It happens. It happens. Yeah, Dobu and Onion King both died to the turret shots here. And I think that if we backtrack a little bit, Contra, you raise a really good point. I'm exhausted. You're exhausted. I have no doubt that Team Flash are also exhausted. And the question is, how much is that playing into their performance? That's something. Joyce seems pretty awake.
That's right, and no exhaust being used, so all you do is just ignite the flames here, and that's where you look at Fizz. He's gonna be going all in with Shy, looking for a pick as well. Onion King, the next one to fall with Joyce taking him down.
Shy misplayed. He didn't get the reset on the slice. He did not get to dice, so he would not be able to chase the fight down, and that will just be 2 quick kills. And this is something we've raised a lot. I forgot who the team playing Camille was. I completely cannot remember. My brain is dead. But when you have a lead as a side laner, you need to make sure you use that lead. Abuse your side lane pressure. You're never gonna lose the 1v1. There's no need to come to team fights and coin flip, especially since you have a proto belt. It's so easy to kill you as a Fiora in a team fight.
Yeah, and on top of that, you look at MBR. They have great champions here for split pushes, and they should actually use that to full effect.
Yeah.
As mentioned by Wantage, that when you have a Zed, what the Zed does back, best is to really juke your enemies out. So you can always go and take one of the lanes out there while you have the Fiora or even the Riven to do the duty.
We're setting up, right? They're going for the 1-3-1 right now. They just need to make sure they execute on this properly and correctly, and they don't make unnecessary mistakes. They know when to back off. It's looking really good for MBR, because when they have leads, when they feel like they need to play discipline, they are able to. They're able to pull back when they need to. And that's what we're seeing on the map right now. Onion King not walking up for no reason. Radiant's hiding in a bush when he knows he doesn't have information. Really good stuff from MBR. Very disciplined. And if they keep this up, it should likely be a good situation for them.
With both sides pulling it through for the moment, it's Alvis playing very aggressively. Getting a little bit more control over on Baron. Here comes the 1v1. Though turns golden for a half. Joyce arrives. Mega Bomb not going to do all too much. And just look at Irelier. He doesn't really have that much mana. He's going to be bursted down. And with the tidal wave not really connecting, Joyce somehow will be taken off with a great flash coming from Irelier. And Tobu alongside with Alvis, or should I say Onion King, has been able to save the day. And here comes a little bit more skirmish off mid as well. With a little bit playful structure into the Lantern. He is safe.
Alright, they just get away. Joyce dropping is a bit unfortunate because they will not have a jungler for this dragon fight, and because of the death timers, Radiant will actually be back in time for this. Team Flash, you need to be very careful. If they take this fight, it's gonna be 4v5 with no jungler as well.
Alvis on the hunt now. He tries to flash forward. He managed to dodge that death sentence right on him, because if he gets taken down, this is a free Drake for Team Flash. Now, without much resources, they are forcing a reset. That allows so much room for Team Flash to take over control on this river to get this Inferno Drakes.
I'm pleasantly surprised. I don't know how they got control of the river at all, but they come in, they muscle MBR out, and they get 3 Drakes. Yeah, I'm very surprised with this. And you know what the problem is, Contra? If they're getting the Drakes, Onion King needs to be finding turrets, needs to be finding farm on the other side of the map. But because he keeps coming to try to contest these fights, he's not able to do so. And that hurts his team so much.
That's exactly the case, right? And you just look at a Team Flash. You have a Kha'Zix that's growing stronger as time goes by. Already having that 3 item spike, he could just 1v1 anybody and get out of there. And when we saw MBR having that Ziggs out of the open, if there was no backup whatsoever, he's toast.
He is indeed, and he's forced to back away here. Look at Joyce though, the spooky ghosts are coming through once again. This time only 2, so not as extreme as 4 we saw in the last game. They're recognizing, you know what, I actually need Jonias this time, so they're gonna play it a little bit safer here, MBR. But still, 2 spooky ghosts, 3 from the side of Team Flash. Both of these teams recognizing so many assassins. I need to get information.
That's right. Information is going to be extremely vital. I guess that they managed to match up the number of spooky ghosts, as we are currently seeing a little bit of a push and pull going on. So this might just be a great meta that other teams can actually learn from, where if you come into the early game, you can eventually head into the late game, switch out on those boots for better enchantment. Here comes Chant of Mount Waters. That takes a little bit of light onto Radiance, but easily with all those mobility in the kit, he's gonna be able to survive. Meanwhile, a bot My, oh my. That's another burst coming down.
Yeah.
And Onion King just
I-
got deleted.
I'm pleasantly surprised here. Shy was getting dumpstered in the early game. He was getting out-traded. He was getting outspaced. Now, somehow in the late game, he's winning this matchup. Oh, no. Ellie. Oh, no. Radiance.
You know,
Outbreak.
this feels like my ranked games where you just have a Zed that just goes out hunting and
Yep.
he doesn't really have to stick with the team.
Yeah.
Same goes to a Fizz. It's basically eagle matchup all across, and here comes Joyce as well. This round 2, and that's just enough of burst with a full chain of combo coming out of Joyce.
It's like in solo queue games in more ways than one. We're just seeing the assassins take over the game. And I expected Shy to just keep losing more and more in this matchup, but I expected Ellie to start winning because Fizz scales so well. He just one-shots you even without ultimate. But somehow Radiance is starting to take over in the 1v1 here, while Onion King is starting to lose, which should definitely not be happening.
Yeah, I guess that Team Flash, they could use the Fizz as a bait in such a way that he does have the Zanyas, he has Playful Trickster, so you want MBR members to commit, and maybe when that ever happens, they could start going in for the backline, having the Kha'Zix to slowly remove either Aurelior, Radiance, if you can find it, or even Onion King, because he's got all the damage to dish out in one full swing, and if he gets any sort of reset, that team fight can still go very well on Team Flash's favor, especially when you have so many Drake offering you every single thing that you need to get the better advantage in those fights.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And look at this Chum the Waters right now. There we go. That's why you need to join your Hourglass. I don't know what
I
this
guess so.
This might be a bit
But
much.
it's dead! It's the
might be a
Fizz
bit
that
much.
fell! They get the turret, but it's not really worth the trade now. Joyce is trying to scream
Oh,
for
no.
help with some satchel charge. He does get a little bit more room, but Alvis have just arrived. Literally exiled, takes a slash, but he will indefinitely go down. It's a rampage for the Ribbon, while Glory D is trying to make a little bit of a home run. Here comes the death sentence. Barely hitting out there. The Elder's
Contra.
spawning up soon, though.
Contra. I'm losing it a little bit right now. Like, my brain is starting to lose it. I'm just laughing at everything. But these teams, I think they're starting to lose it too. Like, they won the fight already. They burned the spells there. And then decide, you know what? I'm just going to dive you for the sake of it. And this is going to be a Baron.
Oh my,
no.
Grand Challenge now being utilized as
I think
well.
he's
A
gonna
little bit
kill
of
them
split
all.
fight over on the top side. It will be the Renekton there, getting the killing spree before falling out.
Oh,
and yet again,
no.
it is MBR that will be moving into the Baron. It doesn't matter. We got multiple kills in this match anyways.
Does Fizz have
MBR, they still have Glory D here with the
Yes,
TP
yes,
coming
TP.
up here. And there's not much help left. They need to smut it or else.
No,
the
Ellie.
MBR, they managed to actually get this catch.
Oh,
Onion will be the next
no.
one to fall. Well, Ellie now gets caught up all alone. Radiance gets first it
Nice.
down.
He
It's
wins
a
this.
triple. It's a quadra
Joking.
if it could make down that Alvis. But Alvis is way too strong for that Fizz.
Yeah, I saw him kill the Zed, and I was coping a little bit hard there. He would not be able to 1v1 a Bruiser Riven. That is my bet. That was clearly not going to happen. But yeah, it was so close for Dialing. He was one hit away from killing Radiance. And off the back of that, Ellie, he nearly cleaned up the fight as well, but a bit of miscommunication with Glory D. Glory D wanted him to TP to the Lantern, but he TP'd on his body, and he wasn't able to Lantern him in. Look at this. This is a bit of miscommunication. And he needed to Playful Trickster the tidal wave, but Tobu timed it so well, sacrificed his life to make sure that he stops Ellie from getting to his team. And that's going to be Baron here for MBR, but the next objective, Elder Ocean, is on the map right now.
Yeah, it just felt like Ellie was overly agitated. It's like, get me in the fight. Get me in the fight right now. I got no time for that Lantern. I'm not going to TP right there. And
Yeah, I
he
just
hits the
wanna
bubble. It could have actually been a lot better in that sense.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's just what it is, right? And I feel
Indeed.
like we need to see Onion King. Please start split pushing. Your team has Baron. Please just end the game. You are Fiora. If
They
you
are
don't
split
win
pushing.
this game for your team, it's really on you. But look at Radiance. He's taking matters into his own hands. He's going to pressure the bot lane tier 2 turret. Renekton spots him, but that's going to be it. And I feel like Joyce can start this one off a bit sneakily.
And MBR, they definitely are in the driver's seat. They can start that Elder Drake, let that Fiora split push with the Zed over on the bottom side to secure a little bit more room. Now, Team Flash, they're definitely in the pickle. They are having missed priorities here, pretty much dissected into two parts. So it's all about whether if Shy can participate while this Fiora is just holding him back all along.
Why are you trying to do that? Why are you
Flash?
trying to charm the waters on someone with a dash on 2 seconds? And look at Onion King. This is how the matchup should play out.
Oh my, he
no.
gets the kill though! Over
they
on
have to
that
start this.
small little window. This is where Team Flash,
have
they
no more
overcommit.
choices.
It's Tidal Wave, and then they
Oh,
will
boy.
try to commit
No
with
smite.
all that they got. It's Alves there that won't be able to secure the Elder Drake. While Flash, they do have a Fiora problem all the way in, and MBR might just be able to sweep them all the way through, chasing them all the way back to the base. No minutes left, but Dialing has been able to arrive to see. They will be able to clear this one up,
Flashes
but
on it.
this is the hit taken down. MBR, they are doing it, taking down Team Flash 2-0.
And I'm so surprised, but